Welcome to the Survivor to Thriver show with your happiness expert, Samia Bano. Do you feel stuck, silent, and stressed? Is something hurting your heart and soul? Are you burning yourself out? If so, you are in the right place because this is the podcast people from all over the world join in to learn exactly how to stop suffering and start living with inner peace and joy. Let's get started. Hey, last episode, I was talking with you about how to overcome some of the challenges that we can face once we begin the practice of the loving kindness meditation. Now remember, there are 4 main steps to the loving kindness meditation. And the overall goal of those 4 steps is for us to practice being loving and kind, to practice holding loving, kind thoughts and intentions, building up our muscle of loving kindness. And step 1, you start with practicing you being loving kind towards yourself. Step 2, you practice being loving kind towards somebody that you love. Step 3, you practice loving kindness towards somebody that you feel neutral towards. You neither hate nor love. You basically don't have any strong feelings for them. And in step 4, you practice loving kindness towards somebody that you are holding negative feelings for, or that you are in some kind of conflict with. And this can be an extremely challenging step, especially if the person that you're holding the negative feelings for has really hurt you, and that sense of hurt is still very fresh and raw. And maybe even like something that's been ongoing for you that you, for many, many years. For example, in my case, I've been holding on to this deep sense of anger and hatred and resentment towards the person who sexually abused me as a child. So when I first started to practice the loving kindness meditation, it was like, okay, think of somebody that you hate or that you're angry towards or that you're in conflict with, and practice being loving kind towards them. I had this really, really strong sense of resistance around that very idea. Like really strong sense of resistance. I just hated doing it. Just, wow, I could feel like I would normally have my eyes closed while I was engaging in the loving kindness meditation. But even with my eyes closed, I could feel my facial muscles scrunching up and my whole body sort of tightening up and just feeling this great sense of resistance. It's like on the one hand, I'm forcing myself to say, may he be happy, may he be healthy, may his heart be full of love, may his heart be full of peace. But it's like, there's this other part of me that's like, no, I don't want him to be happy. I don't want him to be healthy. I don't want him to be full of peace and love. I want him to suffer. Like this internal battle going on. But the question is why even bother, with this battle? Why put yourself through the struggle of engaging in this battle? Why be committed to winning this battle in favor of practicing loving kindness? Why? Why is that important? See, because, by the way, and this is a question that came up for me. And I really needed to understand why, in order for me to be able to fully commit to practicing this process. So I want to share with you, the why of why this is so critically, crucially important. So look, I've already sort of kind of hinted, not only hinted, but sort of talked about this previously, but I want to dig really even deeper into it than I have done before, because it's just like, for me, I can tell you this was one of the most difficult sticking points, those sticking points. It's like, until I really had a clear understanding as to why this was like so important for me to commit to, I just wasn't about to, I wasn't going to commit to it, I really struggled to commit to it. So, alright, so remember, what's the fundamental problem that I was dealing with, and that you will be dealing with if, you are holding on to anger or resentment or any kind of negativity towards a person. The fundamental problem is that these negative emotions are like poison. They're literally like poison, in that not only do they make it impossible for us to experience inner peace and joy, because remember, it's like, it's just impossible for you to experience anger and inner peace at the same time, or hate and inner peace or happiness at the same time. It's just impossible. You cannot hold on to these negative and these positive emotions at the same time. So every moment of your life that you spend feeling these negative emotions, you're literally preventing yourself from experiencing the positive emotions. But the problem with this goes even deeper than that, right? Because the negative emotions, not only are they preventing you from experiencing the positive, but they're really just outright harmful for you. They're like you're drinking poison, quite literally. We've talked about this before on the podcast. I'm pretty sure we have, at least in previous episodes, about how there's like a whole body of research that shows that negative emotions, holding on to negative emotions, literally causes physical reactions. It causes physical illness, physical disease in our bodies. 80% of all known diseases are caused by two things: bad diet and too much stress. And holding on to negative emotions like anger, hate, resentment causes stress in our systems, in our bodies, in our minds, in our hearts, which generates disease. All kinds of disease. So it's quite literally like we're drinking poison when we hold on to these negative emotions. So we must let them go for our own well-being. Right? And I mean, this is at the very base level, right? I've given you other reasons for why we need to let go of negative emotions that come from a place of higher wisdom, reasons that are coming from a place of higher wisdom and all that. But look, even if you don't go there, just at the level of this very basic instinct of of self-preservation, it is essential that we let go of our negativity. So now the question is, like, in the context of the loving kindness meditation and the process that it recommends we follow, like, the question that came to me was like, okay, look, if I just have to let go of my negative emotions, why can't I just do that by doing steps 1, 2, and 3? If I'm doing steps 1, 2, and 3, I'm practicing being loving and kind. I'm practicing, when I practice being loving and kind towards myself and the people that I love, and even the people that I feel neutral towards, makes me feel better. And when I'm feeling better, then I'm not feeling all the hate and the anger. It's because, hey, the good news is that whenever you're feeling positive and feeling happy, you're not feeling resentful and angry. So why can't I just let go of the anger and the hatred and the resentment and by just focusing on being happy myself? By taking care of myself, loving myself, and the people that I love and care about and that I don't hate. Why do I have to go so far as to actually practice being loving and kind towards this person that I hate? I mean, why not just just move on? Just move on with my life. Just not think about this person anymore. I just don't think about him by focusing more on me. Well, okay, if you could do that, if I could actually have done that, if that was actually possible, that would have been a fine strategy. But is that in fact possible? Is that in fact a viable solution, a viable option? And the answer is no, it's not. It's not. And I'd already tried that strategy and failed miserably at it. Because in the first so many years, in the immediate aftermath of my surviving the child sexual abuse, that was exactly what I was doing. I went into avoidance and denial, right? Where I was like trying to just move on with my life as if nothing had happened, just trying to forget about what had happened. But the reality of the situation was that this incident had impacted me so deeply and impacted my life at so many different levels. Impacted not only my life, but like my very psychology at so many different levels, that memories of the trauma, of the incident, of this person and what he did to me, they were triggered. They were triggered without, I didn't want to remember this person or what he did to me, but I couldn't help it. It's like everything's interconnected, everything's interdependent in our lives, right? And so it's like memories of that trauma, memories of this person, it's like all mixed up with all my other memories and all these other parts of my life. And so the memories keep getting triggered. And every time the memory gets triggered, what is my experience? What am I feeling? So in the first so many years, in the aftermath of my surviving the abuse, whenever the memories of the trauma would be triggered, and or whenever, like, let's say I had to come face to face with this person, whether in real life or even just in the context of my memories, it's like, what were some of the feelings that came up? Well, it was feelings of shame and guilt and fear, but also the over time, it's like anger and resentment and hatred. And every time I'm feeling these feelings and I allow myself to continue to feel those feelings, or I'm not able to effectively stop myself from feeling those feelings or change those feelings, it's like I'm drinking poison. I'm drinking poison. Every time those memories are triggered and these feelings therefore get triggered, it's like I'm drinking the poison. I'm drinking the poison. The thing is that nature does not like vacuums. Nature does not like vacuums. Look, if you are in outer space, outside of the atmospheric boundaries of the world, of the planet that we live on, yeah, okay, there's vacuum and space, but down here on Earth, on our planet, nature doesn't like vacuums. Okay, so it's like, if you want to take something away, if you're going to take something away, you better have something to replace it with. Because if you don't have something to replace it with, then it is going to get replaced with something, whatever happens to be around. And it may turn out that what you remove and what replaces it is even worse than what you removed, right? Because you have left things to chance. So it was like, see, I didn't consciously like when I keep telling you about how I started out with like all the anger, the shame, the blame, the guilt. I had directed it towards myself. And that was causing me problems. And then after a while, when I couldn't take that anymore, I shifted the target of it and targeted the person who abused me with all those feelings and all that negativity. Well, I didn't do it consciously. That wasn't a conscious decision that I made. I didn't say, you know what, I'm no longer going to blame myself and judge myself anymore, and I'm going to instead choose to blame this other person. It wasn't a thought through conscious decision on my part. It's just what happened. See, it's just like I wanted to stop blaming myself and judging myself, hating myself. I wanted to stop that. But I didn't have any constructive, thoughtful strategy or plan for what I was going to replace that with. So it just got replaced with whatever it got replaced with the best that was present, that was around me or within me. And it happened to be more anger, more hatred, more resentment, but now directed towards the person who abused me. So it was like, well, maybe it wasn't something entirely worse than hating myself, but it was still something pretty bad, right? Because it was like I was still drinking the poison. So now the thing is that if I want to just, it's like, okay, so now it's like the poison is not just like negative feelings like in this general kind of way. It's like poison in the form of negative feelings towards this specific person. So it's like so the next time that I have memories of this person triggered, or the next time that I have memories of that trauma triggered, What do I want to be thinking? What do I want to be feeling? What do I want to replace these negative feelings with? What do I want to replace the negative thoughts that I'm having with? Right? What do I want to replace this poison with? I better have something healthy to replace it with. So what's the healthy drink that I'm going to replace this poison with? Because nature doesn't like vacuums. If I'm going to take away the poison, I need to replace it with something else. Otherwise, like what had happened before was that one poison got replaced by another poison. The poison of self-hatred got replaced by hatred of this other. So now it's like, my God, can't we keep replacing one poison with another poison? Need to get rid of that poison entirely. So nature doesn't like vacuum, so I have to find some healthy drink to replace the poison with. What's the healthy drink? What's the healthy drink? The healthy drink is the loving kindness. Healthy drink is empathy and compassion. Right? Are you starting to see? Like, wow, this is fundamentally important. You cannot skip step 4 of the loving kindness meditation practice. If your goal is inner peace, you want to stop suffering, you cannot skip step 4 of the loving kindness meditation. You have to commit yourself to practicing step 4. Because it will allow you to replace the poison with the healthy drink. So again, and it might take a while. Remember, it's like especially like in my case, I'd been holding on to that poison, drinking it for years and years and years. So it took a while for me to get used to the taste of the healthy drink, of the loving kindness drink, and get used to that taste and that flavor and begin to like it. It took me time to begin to like it and to appreciate it and to value it. But it's like, you know what? A lot of times we need to drink bitter medicine. But if you want to get well, you need to listen to the doctor, follow the prescription, do whatever you need to do to make the drinking of the bitter medicine more tolerable for you. But in the end, you have to get yourself to drink that bitter medicine. And then the good news with this particular medicine of the loving kindness meditation practice is that the more you drink it, the more you get used to it, it'll stop tasting bitter. In fact, it will begin to taste wonderful. As wonderful as when you practice loving kindness towards a person that you love. It'll make you feel that good. Yeah. All right. And you know what? I have even more to say on this, but I'm going to continue with sharing more thoughts with you on the loving kindness meditation and the wisdom that is embedded in it and the lessons that we can learn from it and apply into our lives. We're going to continue with that next time. In the meanwhile, if you find yourself struggling with this, please do not continue to struggle with it on your own. Reach out for help and support. You will make your life so much easier if you do. And I am one person that you can reach out to for the help and support that you need. Just go to my website at www.academyofthriving.com. Click on the Contact Us page, and you will see all the different options for how we can connect. So until we connect next time, I wish you lots of peace and joy.